How many more fights would you say? I know you said maybe one, but come on.
I don't know, 1, 2.
Oh.
I mean, I'm not one of those guys. I told you, I'm not one of those guys who's going to be fighting until I'm 45 and I'm punchy.
Do you not think Spence will be in the Hall of Fame?
Right now? No, how? He fought in one division. He had a WBC,
he didn't fight all four. He wasn't undisputed. He wasn't undisputed.
He wasn't. No, what I'm saying is they already called him a weight bully. He beat Kell Brook coming off of a loss, an eye injury. He beat Sean Porter.
In all fairness, he had to go over there to get that.
You know what I mean? That's a good win. I'm still a fan. I hope he do well. But like, once it got to the point where I moved up in weight and I'm in the same weight as Spence, it's just like, oh man.
Terence Crawford fired back at Errol Spence Jr. after Spence unexpectedly called for a rematch, saying Spence is essentially an easy payday. Crawford believes the result would be the same as their first fight, or possibly even more one-sided. Their rivalry, thought to have ended when Spence was knocked out 2 years ago, is heating up again, with Crawford making it clear he doesn't see a rematch changing anything, especially if it's just to boost Spence's profile.
To boost him up. I'm like, dude, you're not going to do that because I can retire right now and be in the Hall of Fame. He couldn't. Everything that I've accomplished, he's still trying to accomplish. I don't want to sound like I'm hating on him. I honestly don't know if he make it to the Hall of Fame with the accolades that he didn't got right.
Now, with his return to the ring approaching, Spence has several options, but he's chosen to target Crawford again, and that decision wasn't entirely his own. He was provoked after hearing Crawford's podcast comment suggesting Spence didn't deserve a spot in the International Boxing Hall of Fame. The remark struck Spence and many boxing experts as disrespectful, especially given his comeback from a life-threatening car crash, his victories over top-level opponents, and his time as a unified welterweight champion holding 3 major titles.
Is there ever a possibility where you would rematch Errol Spence? Or is he in a position where he needs to win again before that makes sense for you?
The possibility is there.
And walking over my feet. You know, I want to get out the game. I got kids, got a mom and dad, and, you know, they want to enjoy me, so.
To Spence, one loss shouldn't erase everything he's achieved or keep him out of the Hall of Fame. He refuses to let his defeat to Crawford overshadow 28 wins and 22 knockouts. Rather than argue, he wants to settle it in the ring, aiming to beat the first fighter to become undisputed in 3 divisions during the 4 belts era. Spence believes a victory over Crawford would remove any doubt about his Hall of Fame credentials. After hearing Crawford question his legacy, Spence called for a rematch, only for Crawford to fire back coldly, saying any fight with Spence is just easy money.
Everything got to come to the end, and, you know, sadly, just definitely got to come to the end. So I'm definitely going to get out while I still can and not either be forced out or I have to keep fighting because I need money.
Had one more belt, though.
A heated debate is growing in boxing over whether Errol Spence Jr. deserves a spot in the Hall of Fame. It gained traction after 2-division undisputed champion and former rival Terence Crawford discussed it on the Pound for Pound podcast with Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo. Crawford said he could retire today and still earn a Hall of Fame place because of all he's accomplished. But he wasn't convinced Spence would get the same recognition, noting that Spence is still chasing achievements Crawford has already checked off. When asked to elaborate, Crawford went through Spence's resume and compared it to the sport's top fighters.
Always broke him down and was able to stop him at the end.
Everybody's wondering what's going on with you and Terence Crawford. This fight going to happen?
I think it's going to happen. We both want to fight. I want to fight. He wants to fight. And, you know, it's going down to negotiations. So I definitely going to get the fight this year. And we're going to square off this year with the biggest fight in boxing.
It is the biggest fight in boxing. Where and when, if you were guessing?
I don't know where, I don't know when, but it's definitely going to be this year.
All right.
Crawford argued that Spence fought in only one division, never became undisputed, and even faced criticism as a weight bully, pointing to his win over Kell Brook when Brook was coming off a loss and a serious eye injury. His remarks sparked backlash from fans and analysts, prompting former WBO super featherweight champion Jamal Herring to weigh in. Herring said he respects Crawford but disagrees, emphasizing that Spence was a unified champion in one of boxing's most historic and competitive divisions, earning his status through a long, grueling run at 147 pounds.
For his title, I'm fighting for a title, and there's the possibility. He win his fight, God willing. I win my fight, God willing. And there's a possibility.
Herring highlighted that Spence defeated every world champion in his division to unify his titles, emphasizing that none of the belts were vacant. Fighters like Kell Brook, Sean Porter, and Yildiz Ugas were all active champions when Spence beat them. Herring also pointed to Spence's victories over Mikey Garcia and Danny Garcia, noting that the win over Danny Garcia was especially significant because it came after Spence survived a life-threatening car crash. According to Herring, Spence consistently filled arenas, drove pay-per-view sales, and helped carry the welterweight division, with achievements on par with many Hall of Famers. He concluded that a single loss to one of the sport's best doesn't diminish Spence's legacy and affirmed that Errol Spence Jr. is absolutely Hall of Fame worthy. Meanwhile, one of Spence's former opponents, Yildiz Ugas, also weighed in. Ugas, who suffered a 10th-round TKO and an eye injury in their April 2022 fight, clarified he holds no grudges. Responding to Crawford's comments, he tweeted that even if Spence retired today, he believes Spence would still deserve Hall of Fame recognition. Ugas praised Spence's comeback from a serious car crash and surgery to regain titles, calling his journey a remarkable example of perseverance. He added that while Spence damaged his eye during their fight, that's simply part of boxing and expressed honor in having fought him, stressing that fighters are opponents, not enemies. Since Crawford won the WBO welterweight title with a TKO over Jeff Horn in June 2018, fans have long anticipated a showdown with Spence. Rival promotional affiliations, Crawford with Top Rank and Spence with PBC, made the fight difficult to arrange. After Crawford became a free agent following his 10th-round TKO of Sean Porter in November 2021, a potential bout seemed possible. Talks progressed throughout the year and even neared a deal in September, but the negotiations ultimately fell through. Crawford delivered a stunning 6th-round KO over David Aenian in December in his hometown of Omaha, Nebraska. Meanwhile, Spence, from the Dallas-Fort Worth area, last fought in April 2022, earning a 10th-round TKO over Yildiz Ugas in Arlington, Texas, to claim his 3rd welterweight title. That bout marked Spence's return after eye surgery in August 2021 to repair a detached retina, which had forced him to withdraw from a scheduled fight with Pacquiao. Spence came back stronger, just as he did after a serious car crash in October 2019 threatened his career. 14 months later, he defeated Danny Garcia by decision. Despite risks that have ended many boxing careers, Spence recovered from surgery and returned to the ring, even overcoming the orbital injury he inflicted on Ugas in the process. The debate about Spence's Hall of Fame status reignited after Terence Crawford defeated him to become the undisputed welterweight champion on July 29, 2023, at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, in front of 19,990 fans. Crawford dominated the fight, winning by a 9th-round TKO, becoming the first undisputed welterweight champion since 2006 and the first male boxer in the four-belt era to hold undisputed titles in 2 divisions. The knockout marked Crawford's 11th consecutive stoppage, with 9 of those finishes coming in the 6th round or later.
Man, I got a lot of skill sets I feel like advantages over him. But at the end of the day, I feel like this fight is basically so even. You know, it's going to be more about just being more focused and, you know, not getting out of focus, especially in the later rounds, just making sure, staying on point all throughout the fight and making sure you don't lose focus. Because that's how
this fight was arguably Crawford's most dominant performance, as he controlled the action from the moment he dropped Spence in the 2nd round, an unfamiliar experience for a fighter who had never been knocked down before. By the fight's end, Spence had hit the canvas 3 times, a pattern reminiscent of Devin "the Dream" Haney, who was also dropped 3 times in his first career loss. Crawford finished strong, landing 60% of his power punches and 42% of his jabs, with 87 jabs connecting, the most any opponent has ever landed on Spence.
Nothing really surprised me. He was just like I thought. It's just my timing wasn't good today.
Questions for Errol Spence Jr.?
Hey, Errol, Keith Heideck from BoxingScene.com. What do you attribute your timing not being there to? Did you feel off physically or anything, or what was wrong in the fight?
The fight began with Spence setting the pace, pressing forward early while Crawford stayed patient, waiting for the perfect moments to counter, like he did late in the first round. Nothing major happened at first, but Spence overextended once, allowing Crawford to land a sharp left hand, a small preview of the tactical battle ahead. As expected, Crawford, a deliberate slow starter, let Spence control the early action. In the second round, Spence's movement, steady jab, and relentless pressure started creating real challenges for Crawford. "I'm about to take my belt off him," Crawford later reflected.
Not being there too, did you feel off physically or anything, or what was wrong in the fight?
Yeah, I felt a little off physically, but most times I get through it. So, I thought it was gonna be just like the other times, but I couldn't kick it up a notch.
A powerful jab from Crawford sent Spence to the canvas for the first time in his career late in the second round. By the fourth, Crawford's power was on full display, landing a crushing overhand left and a series of punishing jabs that visibly hurt Spence. His dominance continued into the fifth round as he pushed Spence back with precise, fast, and textbook counterpunching. Ultimately, it was only a matter of time before the fight concluded, with Crawford dropping Spence additional times before sealing the victory with a ninth-round TKO.
Just tell everybody, I don't go in there looking for the knockout. I go looking for the win. But if he get out of line, he's gonna be the next one down.
"I only dreamed of being a world champion. I've always been an overachiever. Nobody believed in me when I was coming up, but I made everyone a believer," Crawford said after the fight. "I want to thank Spence and his team. Like I told him, without him, none of this would have been possible. This means everything because of who I took the belts from. They tried to block me, talked badly about me, said I wasn't good enough, that I couldn't beat the top welterweights. I just kept my head up, kept praying to God for the chance to show the world how great Terence Crawford is. And tonight, I believe I did just that."
Take my belt off then.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
I'ma do it. I'ma do it.
Errol?
You don't need more than the belt. I don't know what you talking about. I ain't one of your kids.
I'ma
You don't need more than the belt. I ain't one of your kids.
I'ma treat you like one.
Yeah, all right, we gonna see.
All right, we definitely gonna see.
And there they are, ladies and gentlemen. It's the main event of the evening. Brought to you by Premier Boxing Champions. 12 rounds of boxing for the undisputed welterweight championship of the world.
"Put it all on the line. Round of applause to both," Crawford said, praising the incredible energy in Las Vegas that night. The fight showcased Crawford's jab at its finest, with even Mike Tyson calling it a battering ram that kept Spence on the back foot throughout. "He's a tremendous talent. He's got a great jab," Crawford said of Spence. Since winning the WBO welterweight title in his first 147-pound fight against Jeff Horn in June 2018, fans had long wanted a showdown with Spence. But differing promoters, Crawford with Top Rank and Spence with PBC, made the matchup difficult. Crawford added that when you're one of the top pound-for-pound fighters in the world, you expect people, especially fellow champions, to get the details of your career right.
Probably like first, second round. He's a strong dude, but everybody at this top level have some type of power. But I think because my time was out, he was catching me in between shots.
I get to say I told y'all because I've been asking for these fights for years, and y'all been saying, "Oh, he's too small. He's gonna get this. He's gonna get broken."
UFC legend Kamaru Usman got a reality check when he tried recalling a moment from Crawford's career, only for Crawford to hilariously correct him on the Pound for Pound podcast with Usman and Henry Cejudo, leaving everyone, including Crawford, in stitches. During a discussion about Crawford's future, Usman confidently said, "I saw you got the belt off the Jamaican dude, am I right?" Trying to pinpoint when Crawford became champion. Amused, Crawford let him continue before chiming in, "I think that you were knocked down." "Which fight was that?" Usman asked. "You fought Jeff Horn in Australia," Crawford replied, smiling as he immediately shut down the mix-up.
All the line, round of applause to both Terence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. for providing us an unbelievable night of boxing here in Las Vegas. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now I want to bring up, he is the
I've never fought in Australia, Crawford said, laughing at Usman's mix-up. Still trying to piece it together, Usman asked again who he fought there, and Crawford repeated, Jeff Horn at the MGM. Henry Cejudo, never one to stay quiet, burst out laughing as Usman realized his mistake. Usman's claim that Crawford had been knocked down wasn't just wrong, it's a point Crawford has corrected multiple times. The confusion comes from a 2019 fight against Idias Cavalli, where a strong counter caused Crawford to momentarily lose his balance. Some fans argued it looked like a knockdown, but the referee ruled it a slip, keeping Crawford's record clean.
Boxer to be undisputed champion in the two divisions for the first time in the four-belt era. There is an undisputed welterweight champion called the world. This man, 40 wins, no losses. He remains undefeated here tonight. The best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, ladies and gentlemen, from Omaha, Nebraska, we present to you.
With a flawless record and a history of making elite opponents look ordinary, Crawford doesn't just win, he dominates. While other fighters have had knockdowns waved off or seen their perfect records questioned due to referee calls or controversial stoppages, Crawford has never truly been down in a fight. Legends like Muhammad Ali, Manny Pacquiao, and even Floyd Mayweather, who officially has only one knockdown, had moments of vulnerability, but Crawford remains untouched. His defense is elite, his footwork precise, and his ability to absorb punches without hitting the canvas is remarkable. So when Usman casually mentioned a knockdown, Crawford wasn't just correcting him, he was proving that his record and skills speak for themselves.